Right, I'm just in the process of starting to disconnect stuff to take the engine out. I've just drained the oil. As you can see, it's very wishy-washy. Doesn't smell very nice and doesn't look very nice, so there's a bit of mix going on there. Just in the process of taking the starter off. I'm hoping it comes off without taking this bell housing cover off, but I might have to take the whole thing together. Just labelled up the wires because I'm not familiar with these, so I'm just labelling up everything. Then I believe I'm going to take off this cover here, and then I think you can disconnect the drive tube or torque tube or whatever they call it. I think there's a sleeve you can undo, and then I think you're meant to mark that because I think there's tension forwards or backwards. Don't quite understand, but I've seen videos of people marking it, so if I put it back as it was, I don't think we should have any issue. I'm looking at the mounting engine mounts. Can't really see dead clearly, but yeah, you can just see one up there. Now looking at it, this bracket is lower than the engine mount, but the engine mount is lower than the cradle. So you either have to take the whole cradle off, which I don't fancy doing, or perhaps you just don't know. No, I think the cradle goes under the chassis, so I think the key thing is to drop the steering rack out of the way, drop this bottom panel off, drop the steering rack down, undo those two engine mounting bolts, and then I'm assuming I'll just lift it up till that nut clears the hole, and then wiggle it forward a bit, and Bob's your uncle. I'm going to do a bit of research on YouTube and see what people are saying, but I don't see unless you've got to take this whole subframe underneath off to get it off. I can't see that you do that. I can't see it'd be that daft, but you never know. But yeah, we will proceed with caution and see what's going on. I've drained the water, like I said. I'm thinking I might leave the radiator. I can't see as it needs to come forward that much, so I'm probably going to take this fan assembly off. This sort of the viscous fan and those couplings off, and the air vents at the top, I think. And then I can't see it needing to come any more forward than that to get off the gearbox. And then it should just go straight up. Yeah, you can see the engine mounting quite clearly there. There's nothing, there's a heat shield there, but there's nothing. But the casting on the engine, which is actually the bottom engine, is lower than the subframe both sides. So, but not by a lot. I can't see, I think it's got to come upwards, but I'm going to do a bit of research on the earth strap to disconnect there. Besides that, I'm going to do everything underneath and leave it just sitting in the subframe, and do everything on top, and then have a go then and see what transpires. But I'll do another video. Phone's a bit flat now. I've been googling stuff all day. Yeah, I've been looking how to do the cam belt. The cam belt looks fairly straightforward, to be honest, but obviously going to be a lot easier to do it with it out. All the hoses and stuff don't actually look bad. I mean, some of these clips look like they're a bit fresh. There's a new pipe there. Don't know whether that's oil cooler or transmission cooler or whatever, but that looks new. So it's obviously had, whoever's done it, whoever I brought it off, obviously done a bit of jiggery pokery and done a service and a fresh oil changing, put fresh water in it. So when I checked the oil when I went to buy it, it was all nice and clean. So you think, oh, maybe it's not a gasket, but clearly it is. And I bought it with the assumption that that's what it was, but a bit naughty really, because I would imagine the oil was contaminated when they first looked at it and they've just changed it. Maybe they thought it was just contaminated, but when you look at the oil, it's clearly got some gaskets issue or something's cracked or something's going on. So I think it will come out with the manifolds off, because you can see you've got clearance up there. Don't want to have to undo those manifold bolts because they ain't going to come undone easy. I think I'm going to have to warm them up. But you can see in the runners, not actually, that's the wetter side, and this is a side that had 125 compression on the two back cylinders. This one doesn't look as wet. There's a lot of oil around here, but that's when the breather pipe came off and chucked oil everywhere. So I'll clean all the engine bay up similar to I did on my Mark 1, clean it all up really nice, so it'll look $1 million when it's cleaned up. Okay, that's it for now.